Stay seated. Let the record reflect that all 14 members of the panel, the defendant, his attorneys, and the state's attorneys are present. State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective Diaz, we're going to start again with State's Exhibit 66 at 14:22:04, so 2:24 or 2:22 in the afternoon.
I call the Richardson police line.
How do you get the number?
I searched for a city of Richardson police department.
Where?
On the web browser.
There's nothing on your web browser right now?
I feel, the moment I'm done with whatever I'm looking for, I just
Clear.
swipe it out.
Okay. Did you think it was an emergency?
It was an emergency, yeah.
Why didn't you dial 911?
I told that to the officer here. 911, had issues before, this would be direct line to Richardson police. I can get Richardson police, and they are the right police to come here.
Okay. Okay. Here's where I have a problem.
Yes, sir.
Wesley. Okay. We got some issues here because in your statements, every time you talk about Shayna, you talk about Shayna. You say, well, Shayna did this, and Shayna woke up, and Shayna came and asked for it. Right?
She woke up and passed out.
Right. I'm just saying, every time you reference her, you say Shayna did this and Shayna did that, right? But when we're asking you questions about Sharon, you say, well, I was out there looking, I was trying to find the girl. You're referencing your own daughter by, I'm going to find the girl.
Well,
That's what you said. That's what you said. You said we were looking, I was trying to find the girl. You didn't say I was trying to find Sharon. Or my daughter, or my baby.
My daughter.
You said I'm trying to find the girl. You valued it to where you're just calling her the girl.
Oh, sorry. No.
Okay.
She's my little girl. I've said that before too. You can check your statement.
Here's the other problems we have, okay? I told you when we first came in here that we were going to have all these resources come out, right?
Yes, sir.
Those resources have come out. We've checked. Okay? The dogs, the canines, the tracking dogs, they can't find anything. They can't pick up anything. Not one thing. They searched that whole area and they can't pick up a scent of Sharon walked this way or walked that way or did this or did that.
By the tree?
By the trees. That whole area they've searched. They can't find anything. The helicopters come out and they've tried to check with infrared and they've checked not just 10 feet or 20 feet, but they've checked miles and they can't find anything.
Infrared.
Infrared heat signature. Okay. We've had multiple officers, and I say multiple, I'm talking more than 20, have checked that whole area and they can't find anything. Okay. We've spoken with Cena and her accounts of what happened are a little bit different than yours.
Oh.
Okay? They're not the same. They're slightly different.
Okay.
And
I don't know how I lost. I don't know. But I've been going through this. I said this. How many times have we had this? 4 times?
And then you turn off your phone's history, your phone's locating history in the middle of looking for.
how convenient is it that at 3:15 or 3 o'clock, Sharon goes missing, and then at 3:50 we're going to turn off our location because we don't want to be tracked.
So when you were looking for your wallet, did you turn off your phone's geolocating history?
I did not have my phone, sir. I did not have to use it as a flashlight.
You would have had your phone with you because you were on the conference call, and then you started driving, talking on the phone.
I know, sir. But I kind of know. I don't have to use the phone, so my wallet is gone, right?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do on my phone. I'm gonna activate airplane mode. That's what I just did. I've activated airplane mode. Okay.
Okay.
So my airplane mode is on. I'm going to go to my text messages, and the last person I text messaged, or the last 3 people I text messaged, or the last 4 people I text messages, there's not one message on here that says you turned off your geolocating device. Not one. And airplane mode is on. The only way that message comes back is if you turned it off. You manually went in the settings and you turned it off. Because we're getting to the point now where we're going to charge you with murder because you killed her.
No, sir. No, sir.
We can't find her. She's not there.
No, sir.
You put her back there by the tree.
No, sir. She's gone.
You turned off the location devices on your phone. You cleared the browsing history.
No.
Your wife's statement is different.
No, sir.
You turned off that locating issue so we couldn't find her body. That's why you did that.
I can have your phone have the location turned on all the time. Its location is turned on by default all
But
the
you
time.
turned it off in the middle of the time that you're supposedly looking for your little girl, for your daughter.
No, I
You
don't
turned it
know.
off
The
at
phone
3:50.
doesn't lie.
Phone didn't lie.
It does not lie. You showed it to me.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So we should agree
You
on
didn't
that.
put it in airplane mode, and the flashlight thing
I
doesn't
would
turn
not
off
put it
the
on.
locating
I
service.
would not put it
You
on.
turned off the locating service so we can't track your device to figure out where you were at 3:50 in the morning to figure out which dumpster you're putting your daughter in.
No, sir.
Where did you put her?
No, sir.
She's out there. Where is she at?
She's not there.
Right? She's
by
out
my
there.
house.
She's not by your house.
She's behind the house. She's standing right there.
No, she's not. There's not even evidence that coyote grabbed her. She is gone,
No,
and you
I-
turned off the GPS on your phone. Where is Sharon? Where is your daughter? What did you do with her?
Sir, I told you everything I know, sir.
I'm going to pause at 14:27:41. Detective Diaz, a couple of things. One, the detective who's talking to the defendant right now, that's Detective Farmer.
Correct.
And just so the jury understands, he's in jeans and the black shirt right there. When you talk about the defendant turning off his location services, the jury has seen State's Exhibit 65, which actually is a screenshot off of the defendant's phone. That's what you're talking about, because you're actually looking at his phone and seeing that location services were turned off between him and his wife, correct?
Yes.
And Agent Tedder with the FBI, he obviously did some extensive work on this case. And he tried to, or he actually did go and look at Sini's phone, and nothing was turned off on her phone, correct?
Yes.
So that indicates that the defendant, he turned off the location services on his phone, and because it was connected to Sini's phone, it shut hers off through his phone, correct?
Correct.
And in the cell phone records, it's odd the way it's indicated, because when we first looked at it, we thought it was some sort of text message, but it's actually him just turning off the location services.
Correct.
And we confirmed that. You confirmed it by looking at the actual phone. Agent Tedder confirmed it through the cell phone extraction, through the cell phone records, and he actually, I think it was just a couple weeks ago, we had him just take the actual phone out and look at it to again confirm that, correct?
Yes.
All right. You also mentioned that the defendant kept referring to Sharon as the girl, and with Shayna, he would refer to her by name, correct?
Yes.
Just kind of recapping that, because I know it's a little hard to hear from this angle, unfortunately. I'm going to fast forward to 14:29:34 and play it for a couple minutes here. 14:29:34 for the record.
Did something happen in the house? Was there an accident that happened?
No,
That you
sir.
took her somewhere?
No, sir.
Then why can't the canine dogs pick up a track in the field by the tree? Why can't they pick up her scent by the tree? There's no evidence she was ever by the tree.
Did she go under the water in the bath?
No.
She didn't fall in the water in the bath, and you go in there and she drowned?
No. She was sleeping.
She was sleeping in the bath?
She was trying to sleep
Trying to sleep in the
in
bathtub?
the crib.
In the crib?
What happened in the house? Because that's where this happened. This happened in the house. There's no evidence she was by the tree. And we were ready to spell that by having our canine look through that.
Sir,
These are special dogs that are specifically trained for this purpose.
The scent. There's
That's
no
what they do.
scent there's no odor of Sharon out by the tree.
there is. She is by the
I'm telling you, there's not.
There's not.
There's not. They've already checked. They've checked. It's
I don't know
checked.
how true your statements are. I don't think they have checked.
I'm telling you that they have.
They have.
No, sir.
We've been going at this for a couple of hours. And what
Yes,
people
I know.
we're in this room
And
talking, there's people doing stuff outside. So we're not BSing you, okay? We're not trying to yank your chain, Wesley.
Yes, sir.
All right? I'm not trying to get a conviction because I get a freaking toaster at the end of the month, all right? I want the truth, Wesley.
Yes, sir.
That's what I want, okay?
And the truth is what
And
I
the
told
truth
you,
is
sir.
not what you told me, Wesley, because nothing is being able to produce to support your account of what happened. There's no evidence that supports that.
Let me show you this, okay? WC5 right here, okay?
Yes.
That's your daughter on the front page,
Oh, my Lord.
okay? And you're going to sit here and tell me that no one's checking and you don't believe me? When we have everybody checking and we have K-9 looking?
And now the entire
Everyone knows. Everyone knows in the whole city because it's on every single news.
It should
It's been
be.
broadcast.
It should be.
And there's no evidence she was by the tree. None whatsoever. And we got all these resources doing all this stuff, but yet you won't tell me what happened in that house.
I told you, sir, what happened. I told you both what happened.
But what you're telling us is not provable by facts. We can't prove that by facts. We've debunked your theory. It's not true.
That is the theory that I have. And that is a fact.
And you're okay with going to jail for murder.
If that is what you and the judge wants to do it, yes, that's fine. Because I endangered her life in the first place. I shouldn't have put her there.
But the thing is we don't know she was by the tree. There's no evidence to
She
say she was by the tree.
tree. Would you rather listen to a dog or an actual person? I don't know.
Well, I think those dogs specifically are trained for what they're doing. I'll take their
I
say.
believe that. I want to believe that, but I think maybe they're not doing enough. I don't think you're looking at those trees in the detail that you need to be.
there is
Stop at 14:32, 48. That will end the 10-7 interview. Again, if the jury wants to watch all 4 hours, they feel free to do that. At the end, we end up, he's again blaming y'all for not doing enough, correct?
Yes.
Saying the dogs aren't accurate, right?
Yes.
At the conclusion of this interview, the October 7th interview, did you decide to arrest the defendant?
Yes.
What did you arrest the defendant for?
Abandoning or endangering a child.
And that was based on this story he gave about putting her out by the tree and the coyotes taking her, or whatever he came up with, correct?
Yes.
Subsequently, when you're listening to this story, you know this isn't the complete truth, correct?
Yes.
But at that point, that was what, you had enough probable cause to make an arrest on child endangerment or abandonment, correct?
Yes.
As we know now, that charge doesn't make any sense because he was lying about all of it, correct?
Yes.
All right. So at this point on 10-7, he's been arrested for what he told you guys. Did you guys do a consent search of his house as well?
Yes.
Did you take some things from there?
Yes.
Laptop. Also found some clothes that looked like they were Sharon's clothes that were covered in vomit, correct?
Yes, those were in the trash.
Permission to publish states 39 and 40, Your Honor.
Give me one moment, Sue. You may.
Thank you, Your Honor. States 39, is that trash bag, and that was found outside, correct?
I believe that was found in the garage.
I should have said not inside like kitchen trash, outside in the garage, waiting to be disposed of, correct?
Correct.
And so within that trash bag are these clothes in states 40, which are covered in vomit, correct?
Yes.
At the end of the interview, you also took the defendant's cell phone, correct?
Yes.
And we talked about, we've already heard from Agent Tedder, he had the phone analyzed, correct?
Yes.
And we'll talk about some of that towards the end of your testimony. You also had Shayna Mathews forensically interviewed, correct?
Yes.
Tell the jury, what does that mean, forensically interviewed?
We use the Dallas County Children's Advocacy Center. They have trained psychologists that are specifically trained to deal with interviewing child victims or child witnesses. It's done in a setting at their facility. Doesn't look like a police station. All civilian staff that kind of do the interviews. And then there's an observation room where we could watch the interview separate from the interview room itself.
Why did you decide to have Shayna interviewed?
I believe that Shayna had some first-hand knowledge about what had happened on Friday and Saturday morning. We wanted to see if she would give us any details about that.
And Shayna at the time was barely 4 years old, correct?
Yes.
In fact, Sharon and Shayna's age difference was less than a year, correct?
Yes.
Shayna is much taller than Sharon was, but their age difference isn't very much.
Correct.
That interview with Shayna, I guess we've kind of talked about it, that we characterize it as what you expect from a 3 or 4 year old, right?
Yes.
Kind of all over the place, hard to tell what's what,
Yes.
right? And so from there, not much evidentiary value we can place into that interview because she's so young, right?
Correct.
All right. But you did it just to be sure, correct?
Right.
And you actually, about 9 days later on October 16th, had her interviewed again
Yes.
with the same results.
Correct.
What you'd expect from a 3 or 4 year old, and just nothing that would help us figure out this case, correct?
Right.
All right. On October 8th, the FBI started conducting, 8th and 9th started conducting some searches on the vehicles that the defendant and his wife drove, correct?
Yes.
Again, nothing of evidentiary value from those vehicles, correct?
Correct. We did pull the infotainment systems out of the Acura and had it sent to Quantico just for further evidence that we would gain later. It's a process and it took time, so we wanted to start that process immediately.
Okay. And like a lot of things, you had stuff done, you didn't know what the result was going to be, but you made the effort to get it done, correct?
Yes.
And despite that effort, no results, nothing that would help us here in court, correct?
Correct.
On October 10th, there was a search warrant executed by the FBI. They took a bunch of electronics, cell phones, computers, tablets, things like that, had it all analyzed by the FBI, by Agent Tedder. Fair to say nothing of evidentiary value from those items.
Correct.
Between the 10th and October 22nd, when Sharon's body was discovered, what is going on? As the lead detective, you're sort of at a point where you have the defendant arrested for a charge that you have probable cause to establish, but you're not really thinking is the correct charge, right?
Correct.
So what are you doing during those next 12 days?
I'm essentially trying to ensure that we have all the resources at our disposal. We had contacted the FBI, requested assistance. On multiple days, they had over 40 agents helping look for video in the surrounding area around 919 Sunningdale. We had reached out to National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They sent a representative in from out of state. We had detectives from Garland who were certified in video analysis to help us get through video. Other detectives from Grand Prairie come in and help us with video as well. We're just basically doing a lot of search warrant writing, doing search warrants for emails, all the electronic devices, the vehicles. In total, I think we wrote over 30 search warrants. We are starting to play the what if games with ourselves, like what if he did this, what if he did that. We contacted the area landfills to determine where the trash from the house would have gone. And we had that part of the landfill basically closed off until the recovery of Sharon. Because if we were going to do a search there, if that's where it ended up being, we'll at least know that there's only a certain amount of trash that's been put in that specific spot. We did a lot of searching of area locations around the house. We did a lot of video recovery and tried to find the breadcrumbs of kind of where we were going. We used drones extensively to search a bunch of different areas. We had officers come in on their day off or stay late, and in groups of 15 and 20 we were out actually walking fields, walking the creeks, checking everywhere. We had cadaver dogs come out and search specific spots that we'd requested they come out and search. I had coordinated phone conversations with detectives on other high-profile missing missing persons cases throughout the country to pick their brain and figure out what they had done in their cases to help find help find something. This is a lot of work.
In this case, you mentioned some video. You were able to get some video from a house across the railroad tracks, which had a camera on it, which was actually activated by a spider spinning a web on it, correct?
Correct. We located a video at 1108 South Bowser. It was a motion-activated camera that faced the Mathews residence over the railroad tracks. We were told it was motion-activated, so we probably weren't going to have anything, but there was a spider web with a spider on it that kept the camera activated all night, and we were able to look at the video and determine that a vehicle pulled out of the driveway at 4:19 a.m. on October the 7th. And at 4:53, that vehicle backed into the driveway, back to the house.
We also heard from Agent Strain, obviously in the house and the cars, they took a lot of swabs and samples looking for forensic evidence, blood evidence. Nothing came of fruition from any of that, correct?
Correct.
But again, yes, we had to test it, made the effort, just didn't yield the results that necessarily you were looking for, correct?
Correct.
All right, let's move ahead to October 22nd, Sunday morning. You get a call, correct?
Yes.
And tell the jury about that call.
I got a phone call that basically said they think they found Sharon. Was kind of in shock and asked more questions, and was basically told we found what looked to be remains of a small child about a half a mile from the Mathews residence. So I went ahead and came in. We called FBI ERT. They came out and processed the scene.
And you actually had Wesley Mathews come in and identify the clothing from the body, correct?
Correct. That was later in the night. We had a photo of the remains of Sharon. She was wearing the black pants with pink top, and so I cropped the photo to just show the clothing. I didn't want to show her the full photo of Sharon, and we just wanted to confirm that that was the clothing that Sharon was wearing when she went missing, because at that point we didn't have a positive ID yet, and she confirmed that that was the clothing. It appeared to be the clothing she was wearing.
And eventually down the road we got some dental records, and that was how we were able to definitively identify that it was Sharon, correct?
Correct.
We mentioned that Shayna had a couple of forensic interviews. You spoke to Wesley Mathews as well. Fair to say she didn't really yield much of anything in terms of evidence, correct?
Right.
Let's move ahead to October 23rd. Did the defendant come back in for another interview on the 23rd?
He did.
And we already talked about the same thing, Miranda rights. He waived his Miranda rights, correct?
Correct. He was. We actually did the interview in the presence of his attorney and his attorney's private investigator.
And just like we did on the October 7th interview, we're gonna play portions of it. Again, it's like 3.5, 4 hours long. We're not gonna play all that. We're gonna cut it down to about 35, 40 minutes. But just like you did with October 7th, if you could tell the jury just sort of a brief recap of the October 23rd interview.
He came in, we ran his rights, he waived his rights. We talked to him about what had happened, and he basically said that on October 7th in the morning, he's in the garage. Sharon won't drink her milk. He's helping her drink the milk. When she starts to choke, she starts to choke to the point where he checks and she didn't have a pulse. Her eyes roll back, and her hands and feet are getting cold. He's rubbing her back to try to warm her up, and he realizes that she's passed.
Your Honor, permission to publish State's Exhibit 67?
You may.
And Detective Diaz, we're going to start right here at the beginning of the interview, which is at 12:16 and 46 seconds. We're going to play about 33 minutes to get the initial story, and then we'll play a few clips after that. All right, so I'm going to let it run for the full 33 minutes. We'll probably talk about a couple things and then hit some clips from there. All right?
Okay.
Just trying to figure out where the camera is. Tim, I got no fault on it. Again, I'm Victor Diaz. This is Joel's farmer. Mr. Mathews, you understand why you're here. Obviously, your attorneys are with you. We're going to go ahead and read your rights just to cover that basis, okay? And another one? Yeah, I got it next year. There you go. If you want to follow along as I read this. You have the right to remain silent and not make any statement at all. Any statement you make may be used against you at your trial. Any statement you make may be used as evidence against you in court. You have the right to have a lawyer present to advise you prior to and during any questioning. If you are unable to employ a lawyer, you have the right to have a lawyer appointed to advise you prior to and during any questioning. You have the right to terminate the interview at any time. Do you understand your rights? Yes, sir. You voluntarily waive your rights? Yes, sir. Okay. At this point, what we'd like from you is just give us your version of what happened.
It was Friday morning, and both the girls were given their breakfast, but Sharon had a peanut butter sandwich, one slice of bread folded in half, and she takes one bite, and starting at like 7:45 in the morning, and even till 8:30, she's not done with that one bite. And so we decided we cannot send her to school without eating anything at all. So I go and drop off Shayna to school, older one, to school, and I come back by 9:30, and Sharon is still at that one bite. And Cindy, my mama, I'm going to call her mama. Mama is in the other office room working. And I get upset at Sharon and tell her, why aren't you finishing the food? You got to take another bite, take another bite. So by around 10:30, she takes two more bites, and her mouth is totally full. That the first bite and the second and third bite is just all chewing up in there. You know, it's obvious that she does not like that sandwich. And we were told to work on different textures of food with her. And so she just wouldn't swallow it. Just keep chewing, you know, it comes out of her mouth and puts her hand and puts it back in. Anyways, by around I think 11 o'clock, she has done this before. She did it again. She started, you know, pushing her tummy, pressing her tummy, and this is typically where she is telling herself, and if you don't want the food, if you don't want it in your mouth, then throw it out. And so she threw out her food on the feeding table tray. And,
high chair?
The high chair tray. So basically all that she had that morning, everything, and even more, everything that's in her tummy from last night, everything just spilled over, and there was just few, like 1 or 2 drops of blood in there too. So I got Cindy, and we had a virus going on in the house, and she was coughing Thursday night, the whole of Thursday also. So we thought it looked like something that would come out of a broken throat. Anyways, Cindy said, you know, that's fine. Don't let her eat the rest. She's just going to keep chewing at it more and more. So
she's sitting in the high chair while she was eating the peanut butter sandwich?
Yeah. And I'm sitting by the, you saw about my laptop. That's what I said at work. I can see her sitting inside the room. So she says, let me fix her milk. Let her at least have milk. And so at 12, she got her 8 ounces of milk. Now, Sharon, you know, we've been told by children's doctors that she needs to have at least 2 glasses of milk, 16 ounces of milk. And so we had progress to that level. And, you know, when we see her having so much milk, her cognitive skills are improving. She can count from 1 to 10. Her speech is slowly getting better. Not there yet, but, you know, I think she's making an effort. So that extra milk in there will definitely show all that high calorie. But towards the past maybe 2 weeks or so, the second milk was out of the question. She slowly somehow trained herself to have one milk for an entire day. But she was eating her meals also, just a little bit. And so that concern was there with me. And, I could see that in the lack of milk, slowly her counting skills started going down too. So she'd say 1, 2, and then she's like, what's the next one? She would say 1 to 10 in a row. So I said, I see that difference in her cognition, and that extra milk wouldn't, the lack of that extra milk definitely started showing. So anyway, she started milk at 12 o'clock. And she's standing by the refrigerator at 12. And then it's time to go pick up Shayna. So Mama goes and picks up Shayna, and I'm busy at work. Something came up, I'm doing some bit of at work. So next thing I know is Mama and Shayna are coming in. And I'm looking at Sharon, and her 8-ounce bottle, maybe just half an ounce, or maybe just an ounce is over 8 ounce.
Is it left over?
No, it's just
It's all drinking.
yeah. So we're talking about 2.5 hours, 12 to 2:30 there. And I'm like, Sharon, you got to finish your milk. You got to finish it, because if she doesn't finish it by at least 4, we can start the next milk by 6 and have something by 10. That's what I'm calculating here. But she just started getting a little more sour on me. And anyways, so Shayna comes back, and so Shayna has her leftover lunch from school. So the rule is you have to finish your leftovers as soon as you come. So Mama says, you know what, let her stop drinking, let her eat some snacks. At least there's something get into her tummy. So both the girls are back in the high chair at 2:30, 2:45-ish, and Shayna finishes her lunch, but Sharon is still munching on her snack. I think it was the Choco Puffs, I think so, I'm not sure. I was busy finishing my work. She had maybe 10 Choco Puffs to finish, like at the 4th one, and she's like, all very completely showing lack of interest in eating. So anyways, I tell her, okay, why don't you finish your milk? You go finish your milk, at least finish half of it, then you can get a nap with Shayna. So from around 3 o'clock, she's at that milk, which is 7.5 or maybe 7, I think. I'm not sure on these numbers, but there's a lot left, a majority left. By 3:30, Shayna is like about to fall asleep in her chair. But Sharon is a
booster, or she's a chair?
Booster. Shayna is on the booster, and Sharon is on the chair, high chair. Yeah. By 3:30-ish, Shayna wants to definitely go to sleep. She had a tough day at school, I think, so she wanted to go get her to sleep. But Sharon is still standing over there. And I make the decision that Shayna go to sleep. Sharon, you're going to stand there till you finish at least half, and then you can get something of the sleep. Something, because she hasn't had a nap at all the whole day, and she's barely had anything to eat. Anyways, the thing I know, Shayna is already up. It's already almost 5 o'clock, and I look at Sharon, and I'm so busy at work, I forget to see what she's doing. So I'm looking at her. She's not even having the milk in her mouth. She's just holding it like this, passing time, looking there and here, and things like that. And then I'm like, I'm already very upset at that point, because it's already 5 o'clock, and she hasn't finished even half of milk. Anyways, it was 5 o'clock, right? And then we think, okay, maybe let her eat some more snacks, get some more snacks maybe, and then we give both the girls, I forget what, chocolate almonds. Yeah, both the girls get chocolate almonds and gummy bears, and that she eats. So chocolate almonds she loves, she can crunch it easily, she I think ate 1 or maybe 2. And Shayna like 3, 4. Then I don't want to feed her too much of the meal, so that she'll skip on the milk. I'll just give her 1 or maybe 2 chocolate almonds, so that will be an appetizer for her to finish her milk. Time goes by, it's again past 9 o'clock or something, and the dinner time is there, and even still, Sharon is at probably 6 ounces of milk.
She's at 6, meaning she only drank like 2?
That's it. More than half is there. So I'm assuming it was 5.5, 6. Yeah. So, dinner dinner is served and we want to give her something to eat, but I don't want her to focus on her dinner and then skip on her meal.
So what time is that?
It was around 9 o'clock, 8:30ish, 9 o'clock.
Okay, and dinner at home or?
I don't restaurant.
Cindy made dinner?
No, it was at a restaurant.
Okay,
So-
where did y'all go?
We went to on the border.
Okay.
On the border.
And who went to dinner?
So, Sydney, I mean, we all wanted to go, but I kind of forced the decision that Sharon stay home. I said, because she hasn't finished her milk, let her stay home. And they both were unhappy, but I said, she needs to learn this. We've never done it before, but she needs to learn. Some rules need to be set. So we leave home by around 7:30, and we are back by 8:30, 8:45.
So who stays home with Sharon?
Nobody. She was by herself.
Yeah, where did you put her?
By the refrigerator itself.
Just standing there?
Yeah.
Or in?
Yeah, with the bottle in hand. With the bottle, she's, if you put her on a high chair, sometimes she might jump out the high chair and something might happen. So if she's standing on the floor, that's more safe for us. I felt that was more safe, so that's why, I kind of forced Sydney to go, because Shayna wanted to go out anyways. So that's how we made the decision, let's just go.
And have you ever left her by herself?
Never, sir.
Okay.
No, that was the first time. That's why I wanted to set those rules so that she would know, okay, next time we say we're going out, she can finish at least something and then comply and come.
Yeah. When Shayna was 2, did you ever leave her at home by herself?
We never had that kind of issue with Shayna. We never had an issue where, she has to, because it would take a little more time, but she would finish her food. This was a completely different, issue that we were having. A child who was so rebellious on eating her food. So, anyways, we were back by 8:30ish, 9 o'clock. Immediately we come in and Sharon is still standing there. She was still standing there, and she still had more than half of her milk left. And Mama says, you know what, let's give the girls a bath, and let's see, maybe if Sharon wants to drink her milk. So, we give some more time. It's about 10 o'clock when finally both the girls get their bath. And during her bath, Sharon throws up. When she's taking a shower, she throws up. And it's like,
inside the tub?
Inside the tub. Yeah, and it's creamy and it's a lot more liquidy too. The other one was, the one in the morning was a lot more the peanut butter and bread and things like that. But this one was creamy but with liquid in there. So I kind of searched what was this light watery thing would be. Most of these online says, an empty tummy would usually have watery kind of discharge or light yellow kind of puke, which makes sense. She basically had nothing to eat, and all she had was a little bit of milk, and she threw up what was there. So after her shower, I tell Sini, I'm going to give her milk. She needs to finish something because her tummy must be running dry right now and on fire right now. She needs to drink at least her milk. So we go there. By 10:05ish, her shower gets done really early, and by 10:05ish, we are again at the refrigerator. And we're telling her to drink her milk. She's a little more, because I think she threw up, she's got a little more appetite. So she started bringing positive signs. By around 10:15ish, I think 10:30, Mama says, you know what, let's just enough with it. Because Friday was our cleaning day, and we ended up cleaning up the whole house. So it was pretty tiresome day for both of us. So let's just hit the bed, let's not worry about her milk. I said, okay, that's fine. Anyways, 10:30, her milk is there, so I think around half is there at that time. And we all go sleep in the bed. Sheena and Cindy are quickly asleep. And to me, I'm like, man, if this girl gets a little more milk today, at least finish something by midnight tonight. Tomorrow is a new day. We can have a brand new glass of milk tomorrow. So I say, Sharon, are you awake? Yeah, Dada. She kind of understands. So, do you want to finish your milk? Yeah. okay, come, let's go finish your milk. And so we go out and close the door behind me and get back to the refrigerator. Past 10:30 now. And then I'm sitting there in my computer just checking stuff out, and then I'm glancing at her. So she has her straw in her mouth, but I can see there's nothing going up and down. No movement in her mouth at all. So it just keeps frustrating me, and it's now around 11:30, 12-ish, and I'm like, oh no, there's got to be something else we can do, because I'm also getting really tired. By 12:30-ish, I tell Sharon, I'm going to leave you in the garage. I'm going to come stand inside. If you don't finish your milk, you're going to stand in the garage until you finish your milk.
Is that garage door closed or it's open?
It's closed, yeah. At no point was it open. It was closed the whole time. Anyways, so she's standing in the garage, maybe still looking past 12:30, almost to 1 o'clock. And I'm inside on my computer again, and then I decide maybe I should clean up the utility room. I forgot, and that was the last piece, the utility room where the washing machine and the toilet. So I was cleaning up the utility room, and she's still standing over there. Now, next thing I know, the time is almost 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. And I'm looking at her, and there's, it's dropped out past half, but it's still maybe 4 ounces or maybe 3.5 is there. So,
You ever done this before with her? Or staying up till 2 in the morning?
First time. But that's why I was, it's a battle of wits, because I was a child trying to see who's going to win, and anyways, then I go sit with her in the garage. I'm telling her, Sharon, finish your milk. I'm looking at her. Finish your milk. So she has it in her mouth, but she won't take it out. She won't take it out. And I'm like, slowly, I'm like, putting my hand on my cheek, and like trying to, sleep is coming, but Sharon is also slowly trying to sleep. And I'm like, Sharon, now wake up. You got to finish some of your milk, and then I'll throw the rest away. Tell my mom to finish the whole thing. But she still wouldn't finish her milk. And then go inside, and it's almost 2:45, and she's getting way past. It was a very long day for us. And then I'm like, Sharon, you better finish your milk right now. And she's kind of very playful at that time. She's like, laughing and giggling at me, thinking I'm making a joke. And I'm like, Sharon, finish your milk. Sharon, finish your milk. Then she starts, sucking on it slowly. I'm like, Sharon, harder. I need you to take one big gulp. Like I don't know if she was trying to, but she's like, Sharon, finish your milk right now. Then she takes like a sudden blurb, and then the next thing I know, she's like, I'm like, okay, Sharon, I take the bottle with me. She's coughing up. And I don't know what's going on at that time. And then trying to pat her head and her back, but her coughing just doesn't stop at all. So I'm thinking this is maybe the viral thing that was moving on, the cough, because the whole day we didn't hear the cough much at all. So hardly the cough seems to be happening, and then before my eyes, she's like going pale, and she's just, her hands are going pale. I'm like, Sharon, I'm trying to warm her hand. I'm trying to warm her head. She's going, no. She's getting very pale. And I take her, put her in my arms, and I'm like slowly trying to caress her. Next thing I noticed, her hands were really cold. I became cold, and her fingers just curled in. And then I tried to rub her feet. That was also really, her feet is usually cold, but this was unusually cold, and then I tried to rub her feet in here. Before I even realized, and I look at her already like this. And I'm trying to see if she's got a pulse going on. It's very faint, and I'm like, Sharon, I'm trying to pat her head. Sharon, wake up, Sharon. And part of me is telling me maybe she slept off. But then, her hands and feet won't get so cold and things like that. And then suddenly, her body just starts to get tightening up. And then that's when I realized, oh my God, maybe she's passed away. Or she fainted or passed away. I don't know what the Anyway, I'm still holding her, trying to warm her body, trying to match her body, but she's still unresponsive. Then I just look at her, and I get the feeling that she's gone. Like she was like tender bluishness on her face, and I get the feeling like so she's gone. She's not with me anymore. And I'm just sitting there, or my world crashed down. I don't know what to do. I'm panicking. I just want to go wake up Cindy and Sheena right away to tell them, Cindy, the nurse, whatever, but I get that feeling that, it's too late. It's too late. And then my mind is telling me, okay, maybe there's some other way we can deal with this. There's maybe another way we can deal with this. Meanwhile, I'm trying to pat her, but, by the time she's getting more and more stiff. Then I just, lay her on our garage floor. I just lay her there, and I'm looking at her the whole time, and no movements at all. I think she's pretty stiff, and her eyes have gone up.
Where are you guys at that point in the house?
In the garage. And the door to the house wasn't fully closed. It was just ajar. So, and I suddenly go inside, and then I'm trying to figure out what should I do. And by the time it's already 3:45, 3:30, 3:45, it was already time. And then I come up with my own theory where what maybe I should just tell everybody that I just put her outside and she got lost and she's missing. And so I come up with that theory in my mind. It's not me trying to get the situation out of my mind. Anyways, by the time I kind of feel it's time for me to put her somewhere. I don't want to throw her because she's my daughter. She's my little girl, and I don't want to dump her or be honorable, do something nice, whatever I can possible. So then I have something at least going on. But I know this is definitely good. People are going to find out about this. I know that. Anyways, by around, there's this blue plastic black bag we have. It's a big one, it's a recycling bag. And she's small, so I put her and she fit in that really easily. And then I take the bag, and there was some trash also. It was a cleaning day, we didn't throw any trash outside. So I just take her and put her by Agra, and all the trash was put beside her.
Where'd you clear it after?
And in the back.
The back seat?
No, way at the back. There's a black cargo. I just laid her there, and the other trash was also there. I wondered, even the day I wanted to say the thing, I did all the cleanup in the house, and the little child just, I don't know, she just disappeared from me. That's what I wanted her to think. So I took two of those gloves that was there in our house, just trying to see if I can somehow match this. So I go first. I go around the house. I go around the community. I go around the Spring Valley. I'm thinking what I should do with another girl. I need to do something. I don't dump her somewhere. I don't dishonor her. I want to honor her. I want her to be alive. Anyways, first thing I do is just throw the trash out. So I go to there's a fiesta close to our house. Behind the fiesta there's a dumpster. So I put all the trash in the dumpster. And I come back on Spring Valley again, and then the Bowser Road hits me, and then I'm like, this place is pretty dark out here.
So you went somewhere else before Bowser. You turned on another street.
The Fiesta.
After Fiesta, when you left, before you got to Bowser, you turned on another street.
You remember getting to Bowser, though?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go from there.
I don't remember going to any other side.
If you remember going Bowser, then that's fine. Just continue from there.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Okay. So I go all the way to Bowser, and the homes are pretty, not lit at all, pretty dark. So I park park by almost one of the houses at the church. There's like 3 churches over there, church and the house. Or I can sit there for some time, we're thinking what to do. So I decided, okay, maybe, I can maybe walk to the railway line, and maybe there's some place where I can safely keep her. That was my intention, is to safely just keep her somewhere. And I walk over to the railway area, and then there were some trees over there. I walk over to there first, but it's just trees, there's little girl won't hide there for much long. Then I look around and I see this awkward in there. And I think, okay, maybe for temporarily, for some time, maybe I can buy some time by just keeping her there. But then again, I know if somebody stoops down, they can easily see through the other end. So I'm like, this is a foolish plan anyway. I just want to get back home as early as I can and tell them what to do with the missing girl. So that was my plan. I took her from to the convert, and took her from the bag and put her in feet first. And I started crouching in to, I don't know how far I went along, but I crouched in as far as I could. My feet and everything was inside the convert.
This is basically, you look here, that's Spring Valley,
Right.
and that's Bowser.
Right.
Okay. So where did you park? The churches are right here that you're talking about. So
Right.
Kingdom Hall.
So by the church and by one of these houses.
Okay. And then you walk over to where?
Walked past like this, came over here. There are some trees over here, see? I walked all the way here. These trees. But I thought this is not a good place, so I walked back. And then that's when I saw this crewman over there.
And you put her on which side?
This side. Yeah, I slid in from this side, squeezed in. So
And you put her feet first. Face up or face down?
face. I didn't want her to, scratch her face or have any other cuts in her body. It was intact. This is my little girl. So I just really, but I could not lift her up. So what I did was I just push her and then crouch a little more and keep pushing her. And until I reached a point where, she couldn't move, something was blocking. And okay, it's time to go back. Then I went back. And
Was the culvert, did it have water, standing water in it when you were in there?
I was trying to try, yeah. And then the blue plastic and the gloves, they were outside the cupboard, and I threw it in the stone drain over by the house.
Is that the one on the corner?
I don't remember which is one of those. So I think there's a. Yeah, I think there's a stone drain here.
By stone drain, you mean like the split between the street and the sidewalk? Yeah. Okay.
The blue plastic and the gloves, I just put it in there. I pushed off everything, all the dirt that I had, pushed it off, and then came straight home. Put all the things on.
Okay. In the laundry, Cindy's robe was in there, and she told us that she gave you the robe to put in the washer, so how did that happen?
See, I don't know if Cindy's robe was in there. This was just mine.
Yeah.
Because I did 2 laundries in the morning also I did one, and the police officers were there. When the police officers came in, it's by instinct, we have dirty clothes lying around, we just go for it, and if the washer is empty.
Yeah. When we spoke with Cindy, she said that when you called the police, you guys changed in anticipation of us coming, and you grabbed her robe and you put it in the washer with your clothes.
I did not grab her robe. Whatever was...
I wouldn't grab it. She left her robe so essentially in the washer was her robe and your clothes. And that's it.
Okay.
And are those clothes you were wearing that night?
I don't think so, because the moment I came in, I cleaned up all my clothes.
And did you ever pull it out of the washer and put it in the dryer?
Yes, I mean, the next set came into the washer, right? So I just put it in the dryer and started the fire off.
So the clothes that was in the dryer, your clothes that you were wearing that night is in that clothes? It was, yeah. Okay. And then the clothes that was in the washer when we got there, that's the second load of laundry that you did.
Right.
Okay.
That's after the police started showing up. Once they came, the instinct where nobody dirty clothes lying on the floor, so just we put it in the laundry basket or I just put it in the laundry and turn it on. It just didn't take too much into it.
So what happened after that? After you wash your clothes or what? Now what?
When you put the stuff on the laundry, then what happened? Where'd you go?
Then I got out of Bowser, got to Spring Valley, and then what's the other street? Grove Road. I wanted to go by Spring Valley again to see if there was anything that I left behind or something.
So you went north on Grove?
I think so. But the Grove hits Spring Valley.
The other way from McDonald's?
Correct. The way to here. So I take a right on Spring Valley. So Spring Valley goes right over the railway track and right over where the Sherman is. And then I went slowly by there to see if there's anything behind somebody's home here. I think there's nothing at all. On Bouncer, and then I came straight back. And at home, I came back home and I'm still in the dungeon sitting. I don't know what to do. And partially asleep, trying to come up with a story.
You're sitting in the garage?
Because I don't want to go inside, thinking
in the car or the garage?
In the garage.
Okay, you're sitting in the garage.
Okay, yeah. But I came and parked my Acura, and then I'm sitting in the garage trying to see how I can erase this foolishness that I've done. And what would I tell Finny? That's the first thing. Anyways, I go inside and it's past 5:30 or I think 5:45. I don't know exactly the time, but that time Finny comes up. And Finny tells me, what the heck is going on? And then I told her, hey, I put down the shelf outside and she's not there anymore. I said, what time is it? And I come over the time, I think it was 3:15, 3:30. Tried to toy around with the time there. Have you searched all over? I did search, but it's still dark. So just give me some more time. I'm pretty sure she's somewhere over there. But if sunlight comes, we'll search for her together. By around 6:30ish, or maybe close to 7, Shayna is coming down. So Shayna is all cranky. She's upset with Sharon. She's happy with Sharon. She usually gets up, she looks for Sharon and her crib. And woman tells her, holds her tightly. Then I run out. When sunlight is there, I run out trying to show that I'm looking for my little girl. I'm literally just standing by the garage and just wondering what to do. Wait there for 45 minutes or so, and then I come in and say, what I think I'm going to call the police and say, my little girl is missing. So I think that's around the time that I called 8 o'clock.
What did you do before you called the police at that point? Just picked up the phone and called?
Yeah, we're talking to Zinni. Was there any option? Should we wake up neighbors? Should we have the whole community? And I know there's no point in waking up the community and disturbing them now. I kind of know where my little girl is. And so I said, no, let's just call the police. Let them come and get involved in this first.
So you called or you called?
I called.
Just call 911?
No, sir. What I've done previously with my wallet got lost is I just search for Hutchinson Police and Google would show call. And so I just hit the call button and it did. I just want to directly reach out to Hutchinson Police, and I don't know why I think I'm 911 at point.
Pause it at 12:50 and 21 seconds. Detective Diaz, a couple things in there. Obviously, that's the story that he gave you on October 23rd. Corroboration is important with statements from suspects, correct?
Yes.
And so when you ask him how he positioned Sharon's body, why did you ask him that?
Because there's only one person that would know how that body was positioned, and that would be the person that put it there.
And he knew exactly how it was positioned, correct?
Yes.
Confirmed exactly how Sharon was laying there, on her back, feet in first, pushed about 12 or 13 feet into the culvert, correct?
Yes, and he said that he pushed her until she couldn't go anymore, and we later determined there was a big concrete block that was why he couldn't push her anymore, because it was blocking the
So
culvert.
that corroborates that he actually did that.
Yes,
As opposed to him saying that they left Sharon home alone with on the border, he's really the only one he is the only one that's ever said that, correct?
correct.
So, here's the defendant who has lied so many different times. That one you're not able to corroborate, correct?
Correct.
In fact, even the waiter at on the border, he said he thought that Sharon was actually at on the border.
Correct.
And so if he's lying about that, it's to cover up something worse than leaving your 3-year-old home alone, correct?
Yes.
So he's either left his 3-year-old home alone while he went out to eat, or he's covering something up that we don't even know what it is, correct?
Correct.
And state, actually, we're going to break for lunch right now. Members of the jury, you are going to be escorted down to lunch by Sheriff's Officer Grant. It is imperative that you all stay together in the line downstairs, okay? So as you all travel through, Sheriff's Officer Grant will explain to you the options that you have. You won't be able to go back and forth. You're gonna really need to pay attention to the options you have from line to line, because you all have to check out on one tab, okay? So lunch is on the court, okay? But you have to be on one tab, so you have to stay together in line, okay? And then you will be escorted back up by Sheriff's Officer Grant and taken to the back. If someone knocks on that door, for whatever reason, Sheriff's Officer Grant has a key. No one is to enter that space, okay? If someone enters that space or attempts to do so, press the call button and the light will go off in here and then someone will come and check on you. Sheriff?
All rise.
You may be seated. We're still on the record. So you all, and I'm sorry, Detective, you can actually step down. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have to be mindful of Sheriff's Officer Grant's responsibility in taking them all down at once and getting one tab. We're all the jurors, so we have to break before it gets crowded downstairs, which is about 12 o'clock. So in hopes that they get down there and things work smoothly for them, we will resume testimony at 12:15. So please make sure, attorneys, that you are back in time to start at 12:15. Are there any issues that we need to take up before we break for lunch?
No, you're not.
Your Honor, I just need some time to visit with my client.
That's fine.
In this break period, if that's okay.
That's fine. Off the record. You all are excused.